We are going to modify the MSS54/HP for coding into any chassis, whether it be E30, E34, etc. Basically, this lets you put this engine, the S54B32, into any car. Wiring, not included. I will hopefully eventually build that for you guys, but that's publicly known how to wire this up, or you can buy swap wiring from people. So here we go. We're going to start. I already walked you through on part 1 of how to pull your file and save your file. Part 2 is this one. We're going to how to modify your file, work off the non-original. So we're going to copy our file and work off of that. So first things I did, I'm going to go to ECU Files. I already pulled my tune, showed you guys how to do that. So I saved that in 2501. I'll again show you guys how to see which version we're working with. And here I have my original. I saved those, I copied that, and I have my partial here. So the partial is going to be 64 kilobytes. That's the one we want to work off of. Okay? Or if you're on the MSS52, that'll be 32. Okay? HP is 64, non-HP is 32. So first things first, I copied, I'm going to work off this subversion, version 0.1. So here we go. First things first, let's go to, and download GitHub, the file there. Then you're going to go to Tuna Pro, download this. Then you're going to go to MSS Flasher, download or buy this. If you don't want to pay anything, you can use BMW Flash. That's free for Mac and PC. Then you're going to also want BMW Logger. This will be like your ODB2 scanner. This will get you everything you need to know about the problems your car is experiencing electronically. Well, easily anyway, to find out problems. There's better tools like Input and whatnot out there, but we're not going to go over that. So, go ahead and follow the links below to get this software, download and install it, okay? The first thing, we now open up Tuna Pro, and I'm going to show you how I figure out which file I'm working with. When you open Tuna Pro, you're going to go to View, and we want the parameter comments, and we want parameter ordered list. So I'm going to double click on software version. You can see here, it gives me the software version. I know mine is a 2501 because we have 2501. These last 8 digits are really what you're worrying about. Okay, 2501 is your kind of, is it an HP or not? And which kind of country code did you get? Did you get European, US, a newer version? But the nice thing is all 2501 software have all the maps in the same locations. Again, what this is XDF is a map of your tune, where all your information exists. It's called offsets. So like instead of your Venus table moving, we can work with the same one. So what happens if I open the wrong XDF? I'll show you. So I'm working with the wrong map for my tune. I'm going to open up this one. Open up software version. Hey, look, it gives me gibberish. But what happens if I open up something else? It gives me a number. This number may or may not be correct, but I'm not sure. I can look at this. Oh, speedometer source, FF. That's wrong. That's not even a value we can use for this. So we're going to open up the right XDF. Select XDF, and I have a version 2501. Look in the file name there. Okay, so again, software version. Now, hint here, for everything we're working with is going to be A through F and 0 through 9. That's called hexadecimal. The file we're working with is a hexadecimal file. So, with that said, we're just going to work our way down on how to use this. So we have sport mode memory. I want to be having sport mode memory on. I'm going to turn that on. 03 is stock. If you always want it on comfort or always want it on sport, you can do 1 or 2, or if you want it enabled with traction control. Most people aren't going to have that. Most people are going to want stock method or 04. Then we're going to go here, and you'll see most things I put, it'll say default and then what the modification is. So in this case, default is 3. Let's change that to 00. Don't worry about why. You can look it up on your own time if you want. I just know all this works because that was my findings. EWS, security, so you don't need the M3 key in the security box. Click Apply. Apply. Done. If I double click on it, we'll see patches applied. And again, I'm working off of the non-original file. So if I make a mistake, we can delete this file and start over. Gearbox type. I'm not using SMG, so I'm going to use 03 manual. The ECU has two CPUs, a master and a slave. Don't worry about why, it just is. Chassis coding configuration. Most people leave it on E46 mode. If you're doing, say, AC without Gary's CAN controller or air vent display.NO's CAN controller, you might want the E36 mode. Either way, try it out, see what works for you. Speedometer calibration. What's this? This is how many pulses per kilometer for the speedometer or the ABS unit on your tires or your wheels, your hubs, sorry. For us, we're going off the diff pulses. That's how this should be wired up. So I will go to my ECU files. In here I have my, ECU files. I have the downloads from GitHub, engine swaps. And in here I have gearing speedo calibration. I'm going to go open that. I already have it open. So in here, if you can see if I change my tires, some people might use 215s. My diff pulses per kilometer changes. I myself am at 235. Press enter, and that calculates correctly. I put this in nicely so that you can see your gearing and put in your gear ratios from your transmission. So we're at 4622 for this value. So we're going to go back to Tuna Pro. I'm going to say 4622. Save. Speedometer source. We are direct to the ECU unless we're using the E46 gauge cluster. So 00. And again, that's for cruise control to work. Cruise control sensors. We are by speed. We don't have a ton of the electronics added. Cruise control buttons. We don't have the multifunction steering wheel, so we're going to be 00 for the Z3M mode. Brake light switch. Basically, if you hit your brakes, does cruise control turn off? I'm only using the brake light switch, not the brake light test switch. So we're going to say 03. Save. Gear position sensor. I forgot what this does, but regardless, we want A0. Remember, not AO, A0. The ductor pump we're not using, so I can say there's no SSP installed. Dyno master, we are actually on number 2, a rolling dyno. Operational mode slave, 02, rolling dyno. Dyno limiter, I'm going to say this is set to 8100. Max RPM limit for ignition timing cutoff 8300. Set it to what you want. I don't recommend going crazy unless you really built your engine. 8300 is actually quite a bit crazy, but I'm okay with rebuilding my engine more often. Automatically stability control. You might play with this if you're using the MK60 ABS. Most people are not. It adds a lot of time and expense. I was going to hope to do that, but I've given up for now. Secondary air pump, cat heating, and DTC. I'm going to apply the patch. Sometimes you'll click apply and it won't do anything. Just close it and try again. Gear detection. We're going to say, it's basically to detect if you're in neutral. We're going to say FFFF because most people aren't going to have that. That was in the SMG. I'm going to skip this. I'll go over that in a second. But throttle curves is next, and we can modify our throttle curves to what we want. This is sport mode, this line, and then comfort mode, second line. And then it's not totally linear for how BMW did it, but this is how much throttle it's going to give. So on zero throttle, it's going to give, on one throttle, it's going to give 0% throttle to the engine, the butterfly valve. On 5% throttle, you have 6 and 2. So what we can do is modify this to our heart's content. Some people have some good values in there. I tend to turn sport mode down a little bit, but still some good tip in for throttle blipping, and make it less sensitive, and then make comfort mode a little more sensitive on the bottom end, but still nice and easy on top. Or some people, if I'm going to let my brother drive this or some friend drive the car around and I don't want them to be harsh on it, I may make it so they don't have 100% throttle. Make it so they can only have 80% throttle. So play with that. So the rest of these values, from here to here, these are for cruise control. So let's take a look at that. Gang NV min. So we can go back to Excel, go to the second page, and put your tire size in, put your transmission ratios in, and then change the differential, typically this one, to be your diff. If you're going to swap between diffs, I recommend having this one be your lower speed diff. So with that, though, do note that these two values should be between a 92.4% difference. If you need help on the math on how to do that, find someone that can help you with that math. I have this one automatically calculated, so if you can see 3.43, that's actually a nice ratio for the 6-speed, then you would have a 3.71 theoretical top for cruise control to work if you swap between those two. So I'm a 3.73. The maximum you can put in for the max differential is 4.25. That's just the way the ECU works. So now we can put in the min-max for first gear, min-max for second gear, and so let's just do that. 135.4 for first gear. For min, 135.4. Save. Let's do max. 144.0. 144.0. Save. That's all there is to it. And work your way down to the reverse gear. From there, the Grenze, that means border, I would put in 105.8 for 1 to 2. 105.8. Save. Done. Cool. That's awesome. So then what we would do is file. Let's say we edited all that. File. Save bin as. And I'm going to say that I just typed this in. I didn't already have this. And we're going to say version 0.2. This is our first major modification, but we're not done yet. I recommend making the one that works for your car to be version 1, the one that consistently works for your car before you go into any other crazy tuning that you may decide to do. Once you have no error codes that you care about. I'll walk you through that part. Save. So now we have version 0.2. See, we have version 0.2 bin loaded. And we still have the right XDF loaded. Now, let's disable the error codes that we're going to get. Now, why are there error codes? Well, let me show you. If I open up BMW Logger, the ECU is going to spit out a ton of problems because this computer right now is hooked up to my bench flash harness. But there are things about 12 to 15 items we can disable so that we don't get too many problems being thrown and annoying us when we have a problem we actually care about. Because we're disabling things we don't have anymore. So I will click this gear and I can choose the cable that I have. Say save. And now see it's green? Good. We're ready to read and write and figure things out. Now I can click this, error codes, and I can say retrieve codes. And then sometimes we just need to try again. There we go. I have a ton of codes. Throttle position, EGT, can timeout. So a lot of things that we don't care about, the can timeout. So what we would do, let's close this. We're going to go back to Tuna Pro. We're going to go to XDF, select XDF. We're going to look at the DTC, Diagnostic Troubleshooting Codes, and 2501. It's going to load a bunch of things. In this case, I recommend going to Parameter Category. This is how I built it. This is all free for anyone to change host, whatever. Double check I'm working on the right software version, 2501, good. And again, this is a 2501 file. Now we can expand this, DTC. Now we have all the DTCs that matter to us, but I want these swap DTCs to disable. So I'm going to expand that. See how they're indented? We're going to work on all of these. So we're going to time out the SMG CAN bus. Apply. Turn out the diagnostic module heating for the gas tank. SMG shift sequence. Apply. So we work our way down there. Apply all of these. These are the ones that pretty much no one's going to use for engine swaps. If there's something you're using, don't disable it. Use your best judgment. You can turn something on and see if you get errors. These are all the errors that I knew to turn off. For example, E-box fan. That's the fan that cools the ECU down, because in the M3, the ECU is in the engine bay. Apply patch. Apply. Now what we can do is File, Save Bin. Then what we would do, instead of worrying about codes right now, we would flash this to your ECU. This will be probably one of the last 2 times you do this to your ECU. So I'm going to open up MSS Flasher. I'm going to open up. Here we go. All right, so it sees my cable, the F232R. I have several cables. We're going to go File, Open Tune. I recommend MSS Flasher because it supports someone that worked on all this. My latest version. And again, it's not done, so it's not version 1 yet. But we could try it. The car would run right now. We just have a few errors. But it wouldn't be down on power. Oh, I opened up MSS Flasher twice. Let's close that one. So we loaded the tune file. If you want, you can click Identify ECU. It will say that, yes, I bought the software, I can use this, and I can write it 27 times before we're locked out. If we get locked out, you just erase flash counter. Do not touch virginize. So now we can flash tune. So that goes pretty fast. It reads a lot faster than it writes. I believe he only writes the changes versus writing the entire tune. Good. Done. See, that's all there is to it. The last step you would really do is throw the ECU in your car, unless you already had it in your car. Drive your car around, see if you got any other codes. If you get some codes, sometimes you need to clear adaptations. Basically say, hey, there's no more codes. So let's open up BMW Logger. I bet you I still get a bunch more codes. We'll see a few that, if you remember them, that we don't have anymore. Or they were still in memory. So we're going to go here, going to retrieve codes. Okay, now it worked. It got a bunch of codes. Good. So it can tell you how many times the code hit. I'm not sure what some of these other things are, but we can say double click here to retrieve, clear the codes. Yes. The other thing I recommend doing before you drive the car at all is to clear DME adapts. Cleared adapt successfully. Disconnected from DME. Good. Close. Close. Go drive your car. Do some burnouts. Get those rod bearings worked in and replace them in 60,000 miles or less. Okay guys, that's all there is to modifying your ECU for your S54 B32 engine swap. Enjoy. If you guys need any more help after this, due to the time it took for all this, and with these directions, there really shouldn't be much else to answer. There's enough information to get this done on your own. If you need help, I'll do it, but I'm going to start charging probably a minimal fee because it doesn't take me long. But I can remote into your computer, or you can send me a file and I can send you it back. Of course, or you could even send me the ECU, but we don't need to do that anymore. All you need to do is buy the cable, $30 or so, and you can do it. There's no reason to be shipping these ECUs back and forth between people anymore, unless you're going for ECU tuning. But for that, I recommend a dyno session. Anyway, guys, if you need help, contact me. I'm going to put some links to all this stuff down below. And have fun, really. Enjoy your car. I know I enjoyed mine very much. I'm selling mine. It was a fun project. I'm moving on, getting a boring truck so I can have a family. Guys, thanks. Love you all. I appreciate the work from so many people. If anyone wants to make this video better, please do so. Make your own version. Help people out, please. That's what made this so all this is free. You can now code your ECU for free. No need to pay anyone any money, again, except for the cable. So part 1 is up, again, on which software you need, which where to get it all, and how to install it. Part 2, this one, again, was how to flash it, how to edit it. Guys, thank you. Take care. Burn rubber.